curators, welcome to this, our first video update for Museum. So Jamie was supposed to do one of these last week from Canada. Unfortunately, he had a few technical difficulties involving moose, I've been led to believe. So I'm the one that's doing it this week, so it's going to be quite a big update as it will be the first one that we've done for the entire campaign. So at the time this was filmed, we just passed 84,000 euros, so thank you so much to all of you that have pledged so far. It's been a huge help. Obviously we couldn't do this without you. We've just reached our 16th stretch goal. Yes, our 16th stretch goal.
Which is really good.
Yes, absolutely. So we've already released a few add-ons, as you've seen. So we have the Cthulhu Relics expansion, which is a Kickstarter exclusive. We have the Crystal Skulls expansion, which we talked about in our video last week.
Which is also a cast exclusive.
Which is also Kickstarter exclusive. We have the World's Fair expansion, which we talked about last week, which is not a Kickstarter exclusive. Yeah, lots of stuff happening, and then today we have just announced the League of Extraordinary Explorers. Yes. So what's that all about? The League of Extraordinary Explorers is a new set of relics that do something a little bit different.
Yes, the idea of these relics is to bring something new in the game, and we have today the Grail,
Holy Grail.
It could be something else, you know, the Grail, the Holy Grail. Of course.
It was all
and we have also the T-Rex bone, you know, the T-Rex skeleton.
T-Rex skeleton.
So each relic is related to a domain.
Yes.
So the T-Rex is on the war and the Grail is on religion.
Yeah.
So it brings a new way to increase your value for the domain collection. But the problem is the relics can only be paid. So at the beginning of the game, when you set up the game, you draw each relics with a number of players.
Yeah. So if you're playing with 4 players, you draw four relics, and they go down the side of the board or wherever you decide to put them. They just have to be on display, and players can then choose to purchase them.
Which means that we are going to have some new one.
Yes,
a really nice one.
We might do.
We might do. So you can only pay. The relics cost a lot because it's nearly between 8 to 10, and you can only pay them with prestige point.
Okay, so you can't discard cards to pay for these. You have to pay with prestige.
And they can only be exhibited in the eye room.
Yes.
And only in the high room.
Yeah.
So you score the 8 or 10 points of the value of the card, and you have to set it up in the high room.
Yes.
And the card is as you have seen, you know, in the Kickstarter campaign, the card is
slightly bigger.
Slightly bigger because it brings 2 space.
Yes.
So it becomes easier to bring your collection as a domain, because it's only a domain, but you have to get your collection domain in the iRoom. So it brings you another strategy to use these cards. And every card has a power. So for example, the Grail, every beginning of each round, at the beginning of your round, you get 1 prestige point. So it brings you more prestige point at the end. Or the T-Rex brings you some cards from the discount point to your hand at the end of the round.
Yes.
So it brings that you can pay with a worth card and bring it back at the end of your turn on your end, which is really nice to do. You have a lot of combos like this.
Yes.
So the more you're going to have in the campaign, the more combos you're going you can do.
So as there are 6 domains in the game, I think we could safely say we've got at least 4 more coming. Probably, maybe.
That's
I can do math. Nothing gets past
Absolutely.
me. So
exactly.
That's exciting. Vincent's having a really great time illustrating these as well. It's
because
a bit different.
There is a lot of surprise in it.
Yeah.
So we have for the moment the Holy Grail, but it's normal. But we have really nice things.
Yes.
Because through books, through literature, art, you know, or hidden continents or whatever. Okay.
All that kind of thing. So I mean, Vince is having a great time drawing something a little bit slightly less historically accurate.
Of course,
we
of
might
course. It's
say.
less historical, but you know, a lot of fun with this. And again, a lot of fun for the play. Again, you know, another mechanic, and brings you another strategy in your hand.
Yeah, yeah. So it's an interesting mechanic, and then visually, it's a bit of a treat for all us nerds out there who like to see something a little bit more fantastic, and brings a sort of a bit more of a whimsical feel to a game which is very historically accurate in general. And so that's an exciting thing to come.
On the expansions.
Yes.
So we have for the moment three expansions.
Yes.
We have the Crystal Skulls.
Yes.
And we have the World's Fair.
Yeah.
And the two relics.
Yes.
They can be played all together.
Yes.
And in our videos we have played the World's Fair and the Crystal Skulls, which mix quite well. Yeah. But you can also add your two relics. And normally this week we should have another expansion which should come, and they can play all together or a unique way. So you can play as a standalone or as you wish. Yeah. It's like a bit like Seven Wonder. Yeah. You can play with the cities expansion or the, I don't know the English word, the leaders expansion. Yeah. Yeah. So it works exactly the same way. Yeah. And the interesting thing also for the World's Fair, because it brings you with two models, the pavilion expansion, but also the lawns.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you want to, you can split the two models, so you can play only with the World's Fair without the lawns, or play the lawns without the pavilion. Yeah. So this is really exciting because the lawns, it's a bit tricky to play it. If we have time, we will do an English review with the lawns. Yeah. But we will see if we have time to. Yeah. And with the pavilion, you really have to take care about what is your common fund. Yes. But with the loans, you have to take care about what the collection in the other museum of the other players. Yeah. Yeah. Because you have to pick up cards and to bring your cards in the opponent museum.
Yeah, I mean that's what I like about adding the expansions, that it does bring more interaction to the game. For example, on our game last week, where I might have lost by a few points. Just a few. It wasn't a big
just a few.
Yeah, just a few.
It was a short victory.
I needed to have been concentrating on stopping you from getting those crystal skulls. Because in the end, you got 30 points on me from those. We've been recording some more videos with the other expansions as well, and you get me like that every time. Yeah.
No, but
I did get the World Fair on my own, however.
Yeah, absolutely. You did it alone on your own, and it was really good because you scored 25 points. Yeah. I was lucky because I brought 30 points over there. But this is all the time. It's a different game session, and with the other expansion which are coming, it brings a lot of more, fun turn strategy and so on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can mix them. Yeah. Without any problem.
Well, basically, we're trying to sort of answer a few of the questions that come up the most often. We do have an FAQ coming. We're working on it now. Beavering away feverishly to put some of our most frequent questions up to answer for people. Can the expansions be played together is something that comes back quite often. The answer is yes. Yes, they can. Yes. If you want to play them all together at once, because you have a brain the size of Alaska, then do it. If you're like me and you need something that's perhaps not quite so complex, then pick and choose.
Absolutely,
it's what we've said from the beginning. Exactly. Museum is what you want it to be.
Absolutely, it really depends on the level of difficulty you want to bring in the game session and with the players. Yeah. So if you want to be more challenged. Yeah. Play with everything, and it will be really challenging. And especially with the next expansion, which brings a bit. We have done the video this morning, and it brings a really huge step of strategy and points and scoring and everything.
I didn't win that one either.
No, but it was an example.
Sure. Okay, so another question that we've had come up quite a lot is the matter of the clips. So the clips which are part of the World's Fair expansion, and they are involved in both the pavilion mechanic and the loan mechanic, and basically they just serve to mark out which cards belong to you, as the pavilion expansion is a common goal. So everybody will be contributing cards to that. And
in a special order, so we need to know
who went first.
Exactly, went first and which it belongs to.
Yeah, and obviously if you, with the loans mechanic, if you loan a card to another player's museum, you need to be able to keep track of which card that is. So We've had a few comments about the nature of the clips. Obviously, these are dreadful paperclip style clips.
It's really typical paper clips, big one with colors, which fits to the prototype. But we have the idea to bring something really more, more discreet.
Yes.
Something like this, of course, in the right color.
Yeah.
This kind of clip comes from another game, and it works perfectly well. It doesn't damage the card. It becomes really easy to handle. It's discreet on the card, and we might have, the symbol of the museum inside.
Yeah.
So we are working on it. The unicorn, the Greek guy, or whatever. So it's something much more like this that we should have at the end of the game. Yeah. But obviously, it's a prototype, so we can't have this.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I mean, we had a few people making suggestions in terms of little wooden meeples and things like that. Unfortunately, that is not practical because they would fall off.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we did this at the beginning. At the beginning, without the clips, because we knew it could be difficult to have them. So we thought, could we have some wood cubes or whatever? Yeah. But for the loans, it's complicated because as you have to, to reorganize your museum. Where everything is falling down. This kind of thing is much better and really easy to use to put it in the pavilion or in your museum.
Yeah. So for all those of you who are watching who are concerned about the clips damaging your cards, do not worry.
No.
The design of the clips in the final game will not damage the cards in any way, and then will most certainly not be plastic brightly coloured paper clips.
Not at all. It won't be paper clips. No, it will be something like this, which is very good.
Yeah. Well, we will find the ideal solution.
It's not original. It's taken from another game, from Kickstarter, an American one with some zombies.
Yeah. So we will.
So if you want to
say no names,
exactly,
but
names.
So there may be those of you who know which game we're talking about. Exactly. If you don't, then you'll be able to see the design of the clip. It's something much and really good. It
works really well.
It's a very good design. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so next up we have a question about there being an all-in-one pledge.
Up to now, we have decided not to have an all-in-one pledge because first, for the all-in-one pledge, we need a big box.
Yes.
And it's very difficult to produce a big box for 200 and 300 people. And it's a case exclusive, so it will be complicated to produce. And furthermore, we tried to make good price on the add-on.
Yeah.
For all the add-on we have brought up to now.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to make a good price on a good price on a good price.
Yeah.
So we have decided not to bring an all-in-one, a big box family, this kind of thing. So up to now, we won't have.
Yeah, I mean, we've tried very hard to make the game as accessible as possible. I mean, it is a big game. There's a lot of material. I mean, obviously the boards are very thick. They're very good quality. Everything's the best we could make it, really.
Absolutely.
And if we start, bringing in discounted pledges or additional, bigger boxes, all that kind of thing, it just drives our costs so high that we couldn't.
Not in this campaign. Obviously, we can't do this.
No. We hope that maybe at a later date we'll be able to bring out some kind of special edition, but
maybe, but up to now it's a bit complicated to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so obviously we're not doing an all-in-one pledge. However, there have been a lot of questions about the inserts within the box.
Yes, so it's planned. Yeah, we plan to sleeve all the cards. I mean, all the cards sleeved could fit in the box, and we plan to do this.
Yeah.
And we will try, because all these things can be done at the end of the campaign when everything is set up, when all the stretch goal has been released and everything. So we will work on the insert, and we are going to try to insert all the expansion as well inside, without the box, of course, because as I usually do, because I'm a big player. So most of the time when I'm receiving my expansion, just get rid of the box and put the expansion in the box. Yeah. Not always it fits inside. No. So, but we're going to do this. We are going to try this. It might be a bit thicker for the box, but this is a work that we're going to plan in March, January or February, something like this.
Okay, great. Next up we have German. We've had a lot of German players contact us and say, could you make Museum in German?
Yes, we are going to do it.
We're going to make Museum in
German. So the basic games, all the object cards, the headlines, the events, the notoriety, the Patreon, and the personal will be in German.
Yes.
And all the stretch goals.
Yes.
The stretch goal case exclusive and the expansions exclusive and the add-ons for the moment will remain in English and French, but it will remain in English.
So all of the base box and the stretch goals
will be in German. In the rules and the content.
And the rules, obviously.
Absolutely.
But anything that's Kickstarter exclusive will have to remain in English.
Yes, because we can't, again, it's a question of production. So we can't produce 200, 300 stretch goals only in German. We can't do it, or it's going to be really expensive. So as we want to have a certain amount of quality and price, we can't afford this. So we have decided, and we have spoken with the German guy on Board Game Geek talking about this proposal, and they said, okay, it's fair enough, because all the flavor will be in German, all the historical things, the content, the headlines will remain in German. So, and I think it's pretty good for the young players or for the family players. Yeah,
absolutely. Because in the end, we can't expect everybody to just speak English. There's a lot of English speakers tend to take for granted. So it's we would like all museum players to get the best experience from the game they can, and I think it's important that we do translate.
For the add-ons, for the exclusive, they won't be anyway. They won't be in English. They won't be in German. But for the expansion, like the World's Fair and the next one, which will be announced this week, it depends on our distributor in Germany. So for the moment, we don't have set up the contract with the distributor. It might come, so they might order some add-ons to release in Germany, but for the moment we don't have it. So I much more prefer announcing that the add-ons will remain in English, and maybe in German.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll keep everyone up to date. Obviously, depending on the answer that we get back from distributors. If we can do German, we will do German.
Yes,
but
of course.
For the time being, the base box plus the stretch goals. German.
Exactly.
Everything else,
German.
English.
In English.
Okay.
Or in French,
or in French for those who prefer. Okay, we also had a little announcement to make about there potentially being a fifth player option.
Yes, absolutely. So we have played last week a 5-player session.
We did,
and it was really nice.
It worked. It worked very well.
Really well. So we are waiting for the answer of the furniture in China for the price. But we are trying to find a good price for a case exclusive add-on for the 5th player. What do we have in this add-on? We should have a
board,
a token for a player token to his new color.
New colors.
And a new board, but recto verso, with a standard setup, but with a new exclusive design on the other side. It might be Moscow, St. Petersburg, something like this.
We've had a few requests for Russia. We might well do Russia.
So it will be a case exclusive, and we will have the clips for the because all the expansion elements will be released with the fifth player expansion. So the clips are the color, and some of the things might come in the new expansion. Kind of explorers and something like this.
So obviously there's going to be a 5th colour, as we said. So if you guys have any requests for the extra colour, let us know. We'll see what we can do.
Yes, and the game doesn't change. So the game ends on when the player crosses the 50 line, and
other than that, it's the same, really. I mean,
exactly the same. So
that's slightly fewer turns.
Yes.
The playtest that we did ended after 4
turns. Yes.
But because you get more cards,
during
you play much bigger turns.
Absolutely.
So lots and lots and lots of cards per turn, which is why the game sort of doesn't take as many turns to come to its conclusion. But other than that, it's pretty much the same experience.
And it works really well. And to be honest, it's really nice to play with the 5th player. And we were afraid of that we get rid of continent cards.
We'd run out.
Even our play session, we didn't get to the end of the continent by day.
No, we didn't.
So Obviously, it works pretty well, so why not? But it will be a Kickstarter exclusive add-on. The price, we are not sure, but the price should be between 4 and 5, maybe 6 euros. Maybe we are waiting for the price for the production to make a release on this.
Well, for those of you at home who might be wondering why this is an add-on as opposed to a stretch goal, it's because there's an extra board. The boards in this game are thick and as a result heavy. So they add extra money for shipping. They take up extra room in the box, which we don't necessarily have. We have all this extra stuff. So that's why it will be an add-on. It won't be an expensive add-on, hopefully, but it will be an add-on as opposed to a stretch.
The idea is to find the best price for the backer. But the difficulty is we don't want to constrain the quality of the game. We want to keep the quality that we have decided at the beginning. So it will be an add-on, and to be honest, for the unique distribution in the world, they ask for 2-4 players. So it's like the solo mode, it's a cast exclusive, and the 5th player, it's also a cast exclusive.
Okay. And next up, we've had a lot of questions about museum layouts, alternative museum layouts.
The layouts. So
what are they for? What does it all mean, Basil?
So this is a prototype.
Yes.
Of course.
This is our old prototype.
Yeah, this is the prototype.
Way back.
Exactly, and they have changed since they have been in the stretch goals, but roughly it's roughly the same.
Just to give you an example of how it works.
The idea is it get a more gamer. It's more challenging.
It's a more difficult option.
Absolutely.
Because basically the base...
Because the basic, you can easily cross collection between other collection, which means that you can optimize your museum quite easily because you have 5 columns and 5 rows. In this new design, it becomes more and more challenging to optimize your museum, meaning that in this option, the last one, these 2 rooms will be standard. It's not the I rooms, only 8 rooms. And so you have a huge museum and a smaller I room. But in the same times, it gives you the idea how you have to organize your museum. So which means that you have 8 collections to score it. And then you don't have so much option to go from this collection to go in the other rooms of your museum. So you really have to take care about what to do and how you must organize your museum along the game. But you have to know at the beginning how you are going to do this. So, as I say, most of the time, for the first game session, you should play with this this kind of museum, the basic one. And when you are ready to do it, go for this one, which are much more difficult to make high scores on it.
Absolutely.
And it's a way to, when you play with some friends, and for those with this first game session, they could play with this. And at the same time, if you know perfectly the game, you could play with this challenging proposal.
Yeah, sure. So it lets you play with less experienced players and still have a more challenging experience than you otherwise would have.
It's really difficult to organize your museum, and you have to think about at the beginning of the game.
Lots of fun.
Exactly. So you know exactly what you're going to do. Because if I do, for example, especially in this one is really tricky because it's a huge, so you have 2 less on the I room, but no matter, you have nearly 10 cards in the I rooms. So you go most of the time for a unique collection to score this I room. And at the same time, it doesn't offer so much option to build on your big collection over there to go somewhere else. So this is really tricky things because at the beginning I say, if I go for Greek there, I have only 3 domains available, which means that I have to choose one there and one there. And this is how you must build your whole museum and your whole game. So if you don't get the domain
that you need, then that's
you don't score the point at the end. So you can review the way you're playing, but it's much more difficult when you start to go this. So this is the challenging part of the new layout.
So really you want to pick your museum layout at the start of the game when you're picking your patron card. Really.
Absolutely. Normally, when you have chosen your patron card, you decide which layout you're going to get.
Yes.
The standard or the advanced one.
Okay. And would you also take your starting hand?
Absolutely,
well?
you get the starting hand as well. Most of the time, you choose your Patreon card when you have all your cards in hands, and then from that moment, and the cards revealed in each continent, and from that moment, you choose your Patreon, and then your layout.
Yeah, it's a big decision to make, really. I mean, in context, obviously, sort of globally, but you have to be aware of the opportunities that you have on the board, what you have in your hand to choose your patron card, and then what you choose for your patron card will determine which museum layout is going to work best for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, that all makes sense to me.
And on the opposite, we have finished the solo rules. So the solo rules, the solo mode is completely done. So we have done last week the general mode for the solo, the normal session, the easy one, the easy mode, and we have done an advanced one to be played with the expansion World's Fair. So the solo mode could be played with the first expansion. Not really with the Cthulhu Relics. It doesn't work with the Cthulhu Relics because it's really complicated. But it works with the general game and with this expansion. For the next expansion, which should be announced this week, it won't work as well because it brings so much complexity inside that it doesn't work. I mean, up to now, I haven't found the solution, but maybe someone will find it when we have tested. So hopefully next week we should. The solo mode is in prototype, and we has been sent this week to our furnisher on this, and we should have a video on this next week, hopefully.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's it. We've gone around the block with all of the most frequent questions that we've had this week. So. Thank you very much, Olivier. And
thank you.
We will see you all later on in the week for more exciting announcements.
Yeah, a nice expansion which is coming. And new relics from the League of the Extraordinary Explorers.
Yes, and more videos where you utterly destroy me at this game.
No.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone, and see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.